want to give a little disclaimer before this video starts. I just want to say, if I get anything wrong, if I offend anybody, please let me know in the comments or on TikTok or Instagram. Let me know, because I do not want to offend anybody. I don't want to insult anybody. If I get anything wrong, please tell me. I did this out of curiosity and everything, so if I got anything wrong, if I got a really bad source, just tell me, please. And also, I know my channel name is Spooky Storytime, and I do not mean to say that this is like a horror subject or anything, because it's not. It is something, it's a disorder that some people have. It's very normal in life for a lot of people, and I do not mean to offend anybody by that. I'm just trying to talk about something maybe not a ton of people talk about. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy the video. Hey there watchers, I hope you're ready for today's video, because we are going to be talking about D.I.D. As you may know, D.I.D. stands for Dissociative Identity Disorder. It involves a person that has two or more different identities within them. These alternate personalities, or alters, have all of their own likes, dislikes, history, tastes. It all varies between each and different alter. There is no limit to how many alters a person with D.I.D. can have. They can have 2 or 100. It really just depends on the person. It can happen at any age, and about 1% of the population has D.I.D. Also, it is more common for women to have it, but I'll explain that in just a few minutes. Let's start with how this disorder can develop, what causes it. The most common is sexual or physical abuse, or any kind of abuse at that matter. It can happen after natural disasters or any traumatic events like combat. And as I mentioned earlier, it's mostly women that have it. But why though? Why is it mostly women? Well, studies have found that women's symptoms are more regular than males. And males are more likely to hide and keep those symptoms for themselves, which can include traumatic histories. Men also usually have more aggressive behavior and are less known to amnesia than females, which results in less diagnosis. So maybe there's a couple men out there that are misdiagnosed and actually have D.I.D. And also, females face childhood abuse more often than males. But I'm just saying this right now, males do go through can go through childhood abuse. It happens to a lot of men out there, and it's not spoken of, so I just want to say you are heard. So if one person gets more traumatic events than the other, there is a higher chance for D.I.D. to occur. And what are some of the signs or symptoms for D.I.D? Well, it's pretty simple. First, if you're aware that you have 2 or more identities, and you know it's another identity inside of you, it's not like your inner voice, that's a major sign. First of all, you pretty much know it at that point. But there are others. But a lot of people with D.I.D. can experience anxiety, depression, alcohol or drug abuse, memory loss, suicide attempts, disorientation, and delusions. Symptoms usually show up between the ages of 5 and 10, but it can happen before or after. And a lot of the time, parents, teachers, healthcare workers don't realize it and don't see those symptoms and signs. Dissociative identity disorder is actually frequently mixed up with ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. And because of this, even though it shows up during childhood, people only get diagnosed in their adulthood. And to diagnose D.I.D, there isn't just one simple test that you take at the doctor's office to know, well, do I have it? Your healthcare provider is going to review your personal health history with your symptoms. Then they will rule out any physical causes like brain tumors, and then usually patients will go through therapy. More specifically, psychotherapy, also known as talk therapy, which is the primary treatment for dissociative disorders. They go through counseling and psychosocial therapy, where you can just talk about maybe your behavioral issues or just your disorder as a whole to a healthcare professional. And there is some medications that can help with some symptoms like depression or anxiety, but the most effective is therapy. I'll say this now, you can't prevent or cure D.I.D, but you can watch out for signs early on in their childhood so you can get it diagnosed, especially after episodes of trauma or abuse. You can learn and to identify and work through your past trauma, manage behavioral issues, and sometimes even merge multiple alternates or identities together. Here are a couple of stereotypes or myths about D.I.D. Number one, people with D.I.D are more violent. I'll tell you this right now, it is completely, utterly false. They are no more violent than the general population. They're actually most likely to be victims than abusers themselves. There's a lot of this stigma that comes around because of horror movies, action movies that portray certain characters, or like the villain always ends up being, I don't know, the alter of somebody with D.I.D, and there's a whole bunch of things that happen, but I can tell you that right now, it is not true. Number two, D.I.D is a personality disorder. It is not. A personality disorder and D.I.D are two separate health conditions. D.I.D is a dissociative disorder which involves loss of contact with oneself and usually begins in childhood. A personality disorder is a fixed pattern of personality traits that inhibits a person's ability to live a healthy and stable life. Number three, dissociative identity disorder is the same as schizophrenia. Once again, they're not related at all. Nada. D.I.D refers to a condition which multiple personalities coexist in one body. Schizophrenia is a psychotic disorder where people experience delusions and hallucinations. The confusion between these two is largely caused by focusing on a few key parts of symptoms rather than a disorder as a whole. To finish this off, I would like to say there are several more dissociative disorders, like depersonalized or derealization disorder, which causes a feeling of detachment from your actions. There's also dissociative amnesia, which is having problems remembering information about yourself. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know in the comments if I missed some facts or if I messed up something. I would really like to know, and give me more suggestions for future videos. I will definitely, most likely, take them. Don't forget to hit that notification bell, subscribe, and please give a like. Thanks, you're so kind. Yeah, I had a lot of fun and I learned a lot of great information about this. There's a ton of videos on YouTube that you can watch about this. Please, before making any stereotypes about someone, just do a little bit of research. It's not that hard. Well, I guess I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye, watcher.